So how great can you be? Well, I don't know if you followed at all the human genome story. That's where there was a public and private group racing to see if they can map every cell in the human body. I have a summary of it here. And it's interesting, what their goal was to map all 20 to 25,000 cells for the DNA of a human being, kind of like the map of life. And they did it back in 2004. And they're still working on it, but they pretty much have done it. And what it's done is it's literally changed the shape of medicine. See, medicine is primarily reactive. You get sick, you go to the doctor, get a pill, or get operated on. But with the Human Genome Project and what they've done with the DNA is now they say, well, hey, if you have a predisposition for cancer, one day we'll be able to take that cell out, put a new one in, and you won't get it. So medicine is going to become much more proactive. Now, I know there's a lot of ethical concerns that has to be discussed related to that, and I'm not here to debate that. But what's exciting about this is who did this? See, they use software and computers to do this mapping. But who created the software and who interpreted it and who created the computers? It was people, human genome scientists. Now, I'm not one of those kind of scientists, but I tell you this. They had to think, and they had to think creatively, and then get into action and adapt as they went along and constantly change to get better at what they were doing. And isn't that the role of a manager after all? Man, we have to think more. And we have to work with our people to draw on their potential as well. And if we do that, we can accomplish incredible things, just like identifying the human DNA. So we have that ability inside us. You know what? We also have other potentials, and we need to remember this. Reminds me of the Marathon Man. Did you hear about him? This is a great story. The Marathon Man was a guy who liked to run marathons. And he announced to the world in the year 2000 he was going to run 200 marathons. And he was going to do it that year, all in 1 year. Now, he was already in the Guinness Book of World Records. He had run 90 marathons already. So off he went. He got a few corporate sponsors, and in the end of December 2000, he ran his 200th marathon. What an incredible feat. I don't know about you. I remember asking one group I was working with, how many of you here have run a marathon? And one guy put his hand up. And I said, sir, you've run a marathon? And he said, yes, and one is enough. I don't know about you. I haven't run one. This guy did 200, but he did it. And then the reporters got together and they were asking him at the end, sir, why would you want to do this? That's like 2 marathons every 3 days. And I liked his answer. He said this. First, he said, well, I have the Guinness Book of World Records, and I don't want anybody to beat me. And then the second reason he said, here's why I did it, because I can. And I did. That's why I did it. You know what? You and I have tremendous physical potential, too, to go along with the creative intelligence that we have. And we need to tap into that. And that's what these superstar leadership techniques help us do. Tap into that potential that we have. But there's another characteristic that we have that's probably even more important that we need to pay attention to. And that has to do with the human spirit that we have inside of us. Too often it's just, another day at work. Here we go again. Same old stuff, if you will. But we need to think differently than that and remember what's possible here. See, scientists say we only use 1% of our potential in our lifetime. They also say we only lose 1%. We just need to make sure that the 1% we lose is not the 1% we use, right? Cliff Meadle was a plumber's apprentice. And he was jackhammering a hole to get some water pipes. And he accidentally put his jackhammer through 3 high-voltage cables. His body instantly received 30,000 volts of electricity. And they say that's like 5 times what you get on the electric chair. Blew him out of the hole. Put a hole in his back, shattered his knees, blew off half his toes, and put a small hole in his head. And he died. Paramedics brought him back to life. He died 3 times, and they brought him back to life. Hours later, he wakes up in the hospital bed. And the doctors say, Cliff, son, we have good news and bad news. The good news is you survived this horrible tragedy. The bad news is we don't think you're going to get off this bed. Now, I don't know about you. 30,000 volts of electricity in the realization of what that doctor said is hard. You know what? Leadership really is easy compared to that, isn't it? If we understand what works and we act on it. You know, the good news about Cliff, too, is he had that human spirit. So he went through, if you could imagine, a painful recovery process. And he started getting a little better, but it was hard. And then he read a story about this person who was in the Olympics and had club feet, but won 2 gold medals. And he won it in kayaking. And Cliff thought, kayaking? They say I'll never walk again or get off this bed. Maybe I can sit up and kayak. So he redoubled his efforts. And he got better, and he got better. And lo and behold, one day he stood up, and he ever so shakily walked, proving the doctors wrong. And then he started kayaking, and his upper body strength was strong, and he got good at kayaking. He entered a few races, got even better. And guess what? He tried out for the United States Olympic team in the year 2000, and he made the team. And 602 members, the United States Olympic team, voted Cliff Meadle, the flag bearer, as they marched into the Olympic Stadium in Sydney on opening night. Wow! I don't know about you, but that's a testimony to the human spirit. We have it, and certainly our people have it. And our job as leaders is to tap into that. But we have to remember, we got to tap into our own first, our creative intelligence, our physical stamina, and the human spirit that helps us do what we do better and better every day, in spite of the obstacles and challenges, and not blaming other people, but finding a way to get through them with the people we're working with. That's what leadership is all about. And that's what this superstar leadership model is. It's a way to tap into the core of people and bring out the best in them, to revolutionize performance. And it will happen. I appreciate you taking the time to spend with me. I've enjoyed talking with you and sharing ideas. And I look forward to your success. I have this dream that soars on golden wings. I visualize your achievements and your legacy that sings. I do not know all about your awesome goals or your persistent efforts to raise the bar. I only know you'll be the best, a superstar. Thanks for coming.